Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. Today's video is a little bit different. This is very new to me, so excuse the lighting, if there's an echo, all of that jazz. This is the first time I'm like filming in my kitchen. We're gonna be baking today, and a lot of people have been asking me to make more cooking videos, and I figured what better to make than my banana bread, because I make this literally once a week already, and I have a lot of bananas ready to be made into banana bread. This recipe is super simple. You don't need a hand mixer, you don't need a stand mixer, you just need your hand to be mixing. Okay. The banana bread we are making today is a nice base banana bread. I'm gonna say banana bread so many times, my god. But feel free to add walnuts, chocolate chips, whatever you want inside. I avoid putting nuts in my baked goods because my fiance is very allergic to nuts, so we're gonna avoid that. I personally really like this recipe as is. Like I said, it's very easy, so before I jump into putting all the ingredients together, let me tell you guys what you're going to need. I'm also going to put the recipe in the description bar down below so you guys can save that forever. Apron is on, it's official. Let's get into it. First things first, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and find yourself a loaf pan and grease it either with like spray, or you can put some butter in it. I particularly like using butter, but I got a little bit lazy today and I just used canola oil. You're gonna need 2 bowls, one for dry ingredients and one for wet. I like to use the biggest one for the wet just because everything is going to end up in here, so this is gonna have all of the batter in it. You're gonna need your very ripe bananas. The riper they are, the sweeter they are. I use about 3 to 4, it really depends. Today we're gonna be using 4. You're gonna need a stick of melted butter, or about 113 grams. I like to kind of cube it up and then microwave it. You can put it over the stove if you want, if you don't like microwaves. It doesn't matter. You're gonna need 2 eggs. You're gonna go in with a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of all-purpose baking flour. You're gonna need brown sugar and white sugar. If you're gonna use just white sugar, you use 1 cup, but I like to do half a cup of brown and half a cup of white. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Make sure it's soda and not powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. And lastly, you're gonna need some cinnamon. I don't measure my cinnamon. I just add a bunch to my heart's desire, to my content. So yeah, I also like to top my banana bread with cinnamon, so when you put in your batter, don't put it away quite yet. Oh, and of course, you're also gonna need some measuring utensils and like a little whisk and stuff like that to measure stuff out. I'm new at this. I usually talk about makeup. So with all that said, let me kind of get you guys close so you guys can see what's going on. Hopefully I can film this good. Let's get to baking. So usually when I preheat my oven, I like to go in and melt my butter because I want to give it enough time to cool down. If you put hot butter in the eggs, your eggs are going to curdle and cook, and that is gross, and you don't want that. So make sure your butter is cooled down enough where it's not going to cook your eggs. So let's go ahead and melt the butter. It's also a really hot day. My air conditioning is not working quite well and the oven is on, and I'm very hot. Okay, I hope you guys like this angle, and I hope you guys don't mind not seeing my face for a little bit, but I have my butter melted. I'm just gonna put this to the side to cool down. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to peel our bananas and place them in the bigger bowl. These bananas have been screaming at me to make them into banana bread for ages. They are so ripe and ready. Don't be turned off by like the color and the squishiness of them. That's what makes the banana bread amazing, because the bananas get super sweet. And you know, even if they're like a little bit brown, don't worry about that. You're not going to see that anymore. I like to make sure I don't really get a lot of the banana veins. That's what I call them, just because the texture of it I don't really like. So this is the banana. I'm going to mash all the bananas very well. I like to use a fork, very simple. If you have like a mashed potato smasher, feel free to use that, or whatever tool you like. Get a little ASMR in here. I am trying my hardest to not scratch the fork on the bowl in case people don't like that sound. Now I'm gonna take my melted butter and I'm going to just pour the whole thing in the banana. So usually I use a fork to just mix everything because it's just very easy, but I'm gonna use a little rubber spatula here because the sound of a fork hitting the bowl and scraping is just not pleasant. So I am going to mix my banana and butter very well. What a pleasant sound. You want to mix it until you basically don't see a separation of butter and banana. It's just gonna look like a really nice smooth consistency. There we have the banana and the butter. I really hope that this angle is working. I'm so sorry. Next time I film in my kitchen, I'll have different camera angles. So like I said, make sure your batter and your butter is not like too hot, because now we're gonna add the 2 eggs and the teaspoon of vanilla. With my vanilla, I usually just pour it into the cap and then I dump it in there. That's enough vanilla for me. Sometimes I add more. I'm not like a really measury type of person sometimes. I just add as much as I want, and I really love vanilla. So sometimes I will do 1.5 cap. So it's really up to you how much vanilla you like. I'm gonna give this a little stir. Oh my god, it smells so good already. And now we're gonna go in with the 2 eggs. They don't have to be like room temperature or anything like that. So let's go 1 egg. I'm not a crazy chef that, you know, breaks things with 1 hand. I could if I wanted to, but the struggle is real. Gotta wash the hands. And now you just want to mix everything together until it is perfectly combined and you don't see any separation of egg. So this is the wet mixture. We're going to put this aside for now and move on to dry. Gotta love having a dishwasher. You just place everything inside when you're done using it. Hi, did you guys miss my face? We're moving on to flour. You're gonna need 2 cups. I don't like to densely pack it. I just kind of loosely grab 2 cups. There we go. Sometimes I like to go in with some cocoa powder. That's also really, really yummy in the banana bread too. Gives it a different type of flavor. If I do cocoa powder, I usually go a little bit less flour. Again, can't give you guys exact measurements because sometimes I just don't measure. But if I do add cocoa powder, because it is a powder consistency, I don't want it to be too bready. So I just cut back on the flour just a little bit. I'm also not a professional. This is kind of the first time I'm using this type of sugar. I've been using the Trader Joe's like organic sugar, and it's like kind of darker and bigger granules. This is obviously just regular white sugar. I hope everything still comes out pretty good. So that's a kind of a new thing for me. I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of the white sugar, and I'm gonna go in with about 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can add a little bit more if you like it to be more sweet. The brown sugar is kind of like kinetic sand, so you do want to kind of press this down. I just take like another little measuring thing and I just press it and I add more. It takes forever getting that brown sugar out. Okay, so there you have your brown sugar. Before I put this away, I'm going to take just a little bit for the top of the bread. We're going to go into some baking soda, and you're going to need 1 teaspoon of this. I have a little 1/2 teaspoon here, so I'm going to go in with 2 of these. Gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and my favorite part, cinnamon, and I just like to go ham with the cinnamon. I'm also gonna take cinnamon and add it to the brown sugar we're gonna save for the topping. And that is it for your dry ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little whisk and just really mix this very well. You don't wanna see any like chunks of anything. You wanna make sure it's very, very combined, because you also don't want to get like chunks of baking soda in your bread because it's very, very bitter. So just make sure everything is combined very well. So once you have your dry mixture all mixed up, now's the easy part. We're just going to be slowly combining the dry to the wet. I like to go kind of slowly. I take my little measuring cup here and add. I don't want to go fully, and you also want to not over mix it too much because you don't want it to get like super dense and gummy. So the less you can mix, the better. All right, so I'm gonna just take a little bit at a time. Actually doing this with a spatula is kind of easy because you can get all the flour from the walls combined nicely. I'm gonna go in with some more. Don't be shy, add some more. Ew, I hate myself. I cannot express to you how hot it is right now, especially in the kitchen with the oven on. Wow, I would really, really love an iced coffee right now. Also, side note, I know this goes without saying, but make sure you're using cane sugar, like granulated sugar, not powdered sugar, because this will just melt and burn. My arm is tired and hot. All right, so we got the last of the dry ingredients. We're almost there, guys. All right, so here is our final mixture. It's looking very good. You definitely don't want it to be like a ball of like dough, like a very dense ball of dough, and you also don't want it to be too liquidy. I think it's just like a little bit hot today, but yeah, that's generally what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna grab my very much loved loaf pan. If you're curious, this is like a 10-inch one, and we are gonna go ahead and pour it in. Make sure your pan is greased. You don't want it sticking to your pan. You wanna get all the extra goods off of the walls. All right, so here's what it looks like. Now I'm gonna go into my cinnamon and my brown sugar. I'm gonna give that a little mix. You can definitely just do cinnamon on top if you like, or just sugar, whatever you like, but I really love cinnamon sugar. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. You guys, this smells so freaking good already. Perfecto, that is what it looks like. And now we're gonna stick it into the oven. So like I said, at 350 degrees, and I'm gonna put a timer for 45 minutes. Depending on your oven, it's gonna be either 45 to 50 minutes, so you kind of wanna check on it. If you stick a toothpick inside, make sure it comes out clean, or you can use kind of like a metal thermometer to kind of test that out if you'd like. So let's put a timer for 45 minutes. Voila. And yeah, now we wait. All right, it's 45 minutes later. I'm currently cooking some dinner, some pasta. So I'm gonna go ahead and see where my banana bread is at. I'm pretty sure it's almost done. So I'm gonna poke it with this. You can use a toothpick if you'd like. I'll be right back. All right, so it did not come out perfectly clean. So we're gonna let it sit in there for about like 5 more minutes. So we're gonna do like a full 15 minutes and then come back and see where it's at. Whew, okay, so I am back with my banana bread straight out of the oven. I am going to put it on a little cooling rack here to just cool for a little bit, and I'm gonna remove it from the loaf pan. My goodness, of course when I decide to finally film something goes a little bit off. So normally, like I said, I use this Trader Joe's like raw sugar when I'm baking this banana bread, and I use like regular like granulated cane sugar, and I think it affected the consistency of it because it took a little bit longer to cook. So with that said, I cooked it for about an hour, I think. So instead of 45 to 50 minutes, I left it in for an hour. Hopefully it's good inside. I really hope and pray, because this would be a complete fail if it's not. Now we wait. So here we have the final banana bread. I am very pleased with how it came out. It is fully cooked inside. Hallelujah. I was very worried, but it looks good. It smells good. And I think the last thing left to do is to taste it, right? I'm gonna try a little piece from this side. Oh my god. My god, it's so good. I just had a bowl of pasta, so I'm definitely not hungry, but oh my god, the top, it's like crunchy, and you like taste that caramelized sugar. Oh, it's so good. She's a beaut. Honestly, I'm about to eat a whole slice right now. Like really fluffy and light. It has the perfect sweetness. I'm so proud. Alright you guys, so that is my banana bread recipe. I had a lot of fun doing this actually, even though it gave me a little bit of a fright for a second. But I am really happy with the way it turned out. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this is a very different type of video for me, but so many people have requested me to cook on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see more cooking videos, definitely let me know. And I think with that comes more practice on how to film them better. My kitchen is not like the greatest lighting and setup, so whatever, we deal with what we have. And if you guys decide to try out this recipe, let me know, tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. I love when you guys send me your banana breads. It just warms my heart. As usual, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Mesijesi Beauty, Instagram, MAKEUPBYJESI. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so before you go. I'd appreciate it so very much. And also hit that little bell. Oh my gosh, I don't know where to point. So you're notified every time I post a new video. With all that said, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!